Welcome everyone to yet another edition of Fuel. We pray that God would bless you as you listen to His word today.
In the book of Genesis in the Bible, Cain and Abel are introduced as the firstborn siblings of the newly created world. Abel kept flocks and Cain worked the soil. Well, one day when both of them went to present their offerings to Lord God, God looked at Abel's offering with favor because he gave his best, and thus Cain became furious over it. Bible records God saying in Genesis chapter 4 verse 6 and 7, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Christian living is all about nurturing what God desires from us and curbing what is undesirable to Him. And a large part of this act is working on our feelings and emotions too. And the feeling that is aroused in Cain against his brother is jealousy. We are all very well aware what it is. It is the feeling of resentment or envy on what others have, what others achieve, how much others are appreciated, how much others are loved, how much knowledge others possess, what others can do, and so much more. But notice that this jealousy compels us to only focus on what others have, others, and I is completely lost in the feeling. Studies says that feelings remain for longer once they are converted into behavioral patterns. And we know how our behavior changes towards the person we are jealous against, consciously or unconsciously, but it happens. And what comes out of this feeling is resentment, frustration, anger, bitterness, rage, and everything bad. In fact, Proverbs chapter 14 verse 32 says, "Envy rots the bones." A popular phrase reads as, "Many roads lead to hate, but the shortest of them is jealousy." And Bible stands true to it. Proverbs chapter 27 verse 4 says, "Wrath is fierce and anger is a flood, but who can stand against jealousy?" In fact, in the story of Cain and Abel the brothers, Cain eventually murdered his brother out of jealousy. What's even worse here is that it affects us as much as it is affecting the other person, the person we are jealous against. All of our behavior and thoughts become all about the other person. And we are often so engrossed in nurturing this feeling of jealousy that we completely forget about ourselves. And so, while I'm busy feeling jealous, it makes me start developing negative feelings towards others, forget what gifts and talents I'm blessed with, become a stumbling block in my own growth. Because you see, all I can think about in that feeling is the other person, and perhaps wish for his or her downfall, consciously or unconsciously, but we do that. I understand all of this. This tells me to not nurture jealousy as it is an undesirable feeling. It causes harm to me as well as the other person. So I'm supposed to not invest into this feeling. But the question is, why does in the Bible, in the book of Exodus chapter 34 verse 14, it says, "Do not worship any other god, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God." And at the same time, in the Bible, in Proverbs chapter 23 verse 17 and 18, it tells us to, "Do not let your heart envy sinners." So wait, if God is a jealous God and I myself am feeling jealous, how is it that God's jealousy is right and mine is wrong? Isn't it the same feeling? Well, of course not. There's a huge difference. And in fact, there isn't even a light similarity between the two feelings. Okay, have you seen the night sky? Notice the stars up there? They all appear similar to us, right? No matter how hard we try to look, they appear quite similar. But the stars in the night sky look same to us, but they aren't the same. In fact, they're widely different from each other in terms of colors, brightness, temperature, size, mass, and so on. You see, it looks similar, but there is hardly any similarity. The existence and the output of all the stars vary from each other. And same goes for God's jealousy and man's jealousy. God's jealousy is caused out of his unconditional love for his children who are drifting away from him to the evil lifestyle. Where on the other side, man's jealousy is caused out of their feeling of hate and resentment against the other person. Result is also different in both the cases. God's jealousy yields positive and desirable output, as what he does in his jealousy brings us back to him, saves us from the ways of the evil one. On the other hand, man's jealousy yields only negative thoughts and behavior, which eventually turns out to be harmful for both us as well as the other person. And thus, comparing these two would be meaningless and illogical, in fact, sinful. And so, let's be aware of what we feel, because feelings we know turn into behavioral patterns in no time, consciously or unconsciously, and behavior patterns are difficult to shun. So, let's be mindful of the gifts and talent that we are blessed with and work towards their growth. Remember, it's always you versus you. Appreciate others and be grateful, because Christian living is all about nurturing what God desires from us and curbing what is undesirable to Him. And a large part of this act is working on our feelings and emotions too. May God bless you through this session.
Thank you, friends, for joining with us. Stay connected, and we'll be back next week with yet another edition of Fuel. Be blessed with this song.
कुछ है मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। कुछ है मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। कुछ है मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। ओ जीवन मेरा बदल गया। यीशु मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। यीशु मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। यीशु मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। ओ जीवन मेरा बदल गया। पवित्र आत्मा भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। पवित्र आत्मा भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। पवित्र आत्मा भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। ओ जीवन मेरा बदल गया। कुछ है मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। कुछ है मेरे भीतर, काम करता वो बाहर, जीवन मेरा बदल गया। जीवन मेरा